Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see who was here first. Jacqueline Rippey, thank you so much for being here first. And because you were first, you get, are you ready for it? You get to say I was here first. Oh, man. That's just wonderful. Congratulations. Um, Let me see here. What did I do that for? Okay. All right. That looks good. Cause we can build this dream together. Save love, whatever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And if this world runs out of lovers, we'll still have each other. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Whoa. Okay. You know, my aunt loved that song. The one from that song was from Mannequin. Yeah, Mannequin. And well, when we had a service for her, I don't know why I forgot to mention it. They should have played the song at the service. And I didn't think about it. I just totally forgot about it. I just blanked out. It wasn't thinking about it. And then, of course, the next time I heard the song, I'm just like, why didn't we play that? I was probably the only one that knew how much she liked that song. And when she told me, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? Yep, that was her song. She loved that song. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that is. I was well. In case you guys didn't know, I did make a card, a sympathy card for the Lady Sussex. So prayer card, if you want to call it that, whatever. It's just something from us for her, and I did link it to her account. So whenever she looks at her account, then she'll have a chance to see some of your prayers or kind words, thoughts. Um, but yeah, it's on the community post, which, as a matter of fact, I will put that up at the top for you. Okay. Hi, Joan Garcia. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Um, okay, I'm just scrolling through just to get an idea of who's here. Let me go ahead and grab that for you. And I'll post that up top. Mm, okay, let's see if this works. Hmm. Why does that look like that? Maybe that's not right. Let me try that again. Yeah, I think it's better with the space. Okay, so I have that posted there, and now I'm going to test it to make sure that it works. Yes, it does. It goes right to the card. All right, that is perfect. And also, I wanted to mention this too. I did not get permission to share Lady Sussex Cash App, but if you go to her account, it is there. Um, so yeah, and until I get permission to do that, I didn't want to share her Cash App. Um, and certainly she didn't say anything to me about it. But just in case, if anyone was interested, she does have a Cash App over there. So it's probably better that I don't post anything here. But um, that is an option if you're so inclined. Again, she does have a Cash App listed with her account. So if you're so inclined, it is available over on her account. Hmm. Is there anything else I needed to do? I guess that's it. Um, yeah, I'll just post this up here out of my way, and then we can get started. I got a bazillion screens open, of course. Let me close a couple of these before my computer freeze. Ah, that looks better already. Okay, sorry for the delay. Uh, that's good. That's good. And we're good. That works. All right. Compton Caligal, welcome. Thank you for being here. Uh, Caroline, Mary H., and a few other people. Thank you for being here. All right, so we'll do a little news and gossip and get caught up on everything. Let's start off with yeah, that was the other thumbnail I considered using tonight, but I had decided to stick with that one. Yeah, I stick with that one there. Pamela Vickers Tuttle, hello to you too. All right. So again, in case you didn't hear, yesterday we got the word from, I can't remember if it was George or Charles from Lady Sussex. She has a channel, Meghan Markle, a real life Cinderella. Um, as you may have heard on her show, her podcast before, she mentioned caring for her mother, and sadly, her mother passed away yesterday. And we found out while I was on live, of course. And wow, that just really, I don't know, I just kind of felt it in my gut because I just always imagined Lady Sussex, uh, you know, being with her mother, or she was also going to school, and I suppose she's, still has her studies. And among other things, Lady Sussex works very hard. And fortunately, we were able to keep her company. Royal Sussex and a couple other channels, we were able to keep her company. And then, of course, um, whenever possible, we would have Lady Sussex on Sunday. And of course, that was my day that I was looking forward to because Lady Sussex, Charles, and George always had some incredible content for us. And hopefully they will be back at some point. And well, yeah, so that was like my Sunday routine. And yeah, so I just kind of pictured us keeping her company, and and she's just hanging out, listening to us and everything. Um, and so my point is, you never know what this community means to people. A lot of us have relied upon the goodwill from the community, prayers and information, uh, you name it. It's the safe space that I'm pretty sure we're all looking forward to, and not just here, but a few of the other channels. And of course, it was the Sussexes that brought us together. And I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, again, the link is up at the top of the chat. If you would like to go and leave a kind word or a prayer or something thoughtful, please do that. And the card looks like this. Yeah, it's on the community post, and it looks like this. Oh my goodness, I see that's not lined up. I did not realize that. Oh well. Um, and this is one of my favorite things here. A few things your mom may not have told you. She loves you more than herself. She has watched you while you were asleep. Sometimes you're upset. Her heart sinks. You make her life meaningful. She would give you her last dollar. You inspire her and give her hope. She smiles knowing you are her child. You could never disappoint her. She thinks you are one in a million. You're the best thing that has ever happened to her. And believe me, that is everybody's mom. That is everybody's mom. Okay. Thank you so much for all the support, whether you've been with us from the beginning or just discovered as ever. We're so glad you're here. Our debut rosé will be available to order on Tuesday, July the 1st. Crisp and beautifully balanced, this rosé is made for summer's best moments, from lunches that turn into dinners and sun-drenched weekends where the only thing that's louder than music is the laughter. We can't wait to share it with you. So that is from the Duchess of Sussex. Um, got an email today. It wasn't on the Instagram. It was actually an email. So if you have not seen this, make sure you check your inbox, your email. Also, one of the squatties, oh my goodness, who was that? They, let me see here. I want to try to be helpful to you. Um, so, you know what? I should have saved it, but it was from one of the squatties, and it had to do with, oh, I know who it was. I know who it was. Give me just a second here. So, if you live in Canada, it says, "Hey, Canadian Sussex fans, just to let you know, I ordered Meghan's products using website shipsy.com. Shipsies.com. And it says here, I tried them out the first launch and it worked out wonderfully, except for the fact that it took weeks for the product to get across the border. I used it. So, oh yeah, she said, I used them again this time around, and I suspect I'm in for the same long wait. I posted this link a while ago, but it's likely got buried in my tweets, so I'll pin it to the timeline. So let me get that for you. It's called Shipsy. I'll just put it right here. And I'll just leave it here in the chat. See it right there? Shipsy.com. So if you would like to order something and you're wondering how can I get it? Well, again, this is for Canada. I don't know of any other ways that you can use this or if you can use it, but apparently this is for people who live in Canada. So if you were wondering, will I be able to order something and what would be the best way? I guess the only drawback is there seems to be a bit of a wait, but this person says it does work. So I am in no way affiliated with this, but if you find it helpful, I hope it works for you. Yeah, I hope it works for you. All right. All right. What is this? Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm here. Sorry about the pregnant pause. And there we go. So this was Harry's surprise visit today. That image was a bit curved or convex or whatever you want to call it, but I tried to flatten it out a bit, but it looked pretty weird. But again, I tried to fix it, and so yeah, that was Harry's visit today. As you can see, um, the Sustainable Media Center, yeah, Sustainable Media Center, Prince Harry and Rachel Garral at the Nexus Global. So that was the surprise. We had no idea that he was going to be outside today. Prince Harry makes surprise New York City summit appearance and opens up about his journey from duty to purpose. The Duke of Sussex surprised attendees at the Nexus Global Summit in New York City, and that's according to People magazine. Whoa, that was cool. I don't know. Sometimes I just say, this seems like one of those days where the Sussexes are going to appear somewhere. And, well, that happened to be Harry this time. And I do have a bit of sound from the meeting. So let me play that for you. And you'll get a chance to hear what it's all about. What's it all about, Harry? What's it all about, Harry?
Thank you so much for sharing your vision for.
We realised that quite some time ago. And I think in today's world, it's quite easy to be able to abandon your values because some people are proving that it's easier to get to the top by, lying. I'm sure the fall from that is quite monumental. But my wife said to me very early on in our relationship, if you live your life by truth, it's the most efficient way to live. I'm sharing this with you. So yes, we will continue to live our life by truth, and we will continue to stand up for what we believe in, the difference between right and wrong. And almost like, especially when it comes to mental health, I find it fascinating that when you are in a position similar to mine, if you do speak up, that the people in those positions of power, in the media, whatever, that criticize you, thinking that they're going to silence you, clearly don't realize that the importance of the fact that if they do try to criticize you and silence you, there is a need and a desire to continue to speak more. And we also, everybody in this room, we know that if you come out and speak about some of your lived experiences, someone out there, or a group of people, or thousands or millions of people, can somehow relate to part of your story, and you may be able to change their life forever. Which is
now.
cool.
Okay. Well, I do have more. I actually heard that for the first time right now. I I didn't want to listen to it in advance. I thought it would be cool if we all listened to it at the same time together. So that was the first for me. So I had no idea what the conversation was about. All right. There's another picture right there. Harry, of course, he's not just the Duke of Sussex. He is a real life Prince Charming. You can always tell by the way the crowd responds to him, and of course, just the way he occupies the space that he's in is amazing. How he does that. Also, if you want some more information about his visit today, you could always go to the Archwell website because there is some information there. But I'm going to share it with you here if you don't mind. Look at there. They are clinging to his every word. It's so rare nowadays that, someone has something to say. And he is definitely that someone that has something to say. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what I did here. Oh, sorry. Panicked for a second there. It says Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, spoke to a room of 350 next generation philanthropists, social entrepreneurs, artists, and impact leaders from the more than 70 countries. Wow, this was a pretty big deal. Could you imagine that? They're from 70 different countries and they had no idea he was going to be there. They said this was a surprise. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Anyway, so there were leaders from more than 70 countries at this annual Nexus Global Summit today, where he discussed the impact of service and everyone's role in shaping stronger communities to solve the issue of disconnection and social isolation and the impact it has on people globally. During his conversation with Rachel Garral, co-founder and CEO of Nexus Global, the Duke shared insight from his personal journey of service, describing how he evolved from being born into a life of service to genuinely wanting to serve while emphasizing the importance of compassionate leadership and the need for everyone to be in service of something greater than themselves. A philosophy that aligns with the Archwell Foundation's mission. He encouraged attendees to take care of one another's and future generations to tackle root causes rather than just symptoms and to demonstrate what values-driven leadership can accomplish. All right, Harry, we see you. We hear you. And here's another view of the room. As the world gets harder and people lives become harder, compassion can shrink. The thing that gives me the most hope is the grassroots approach. Many of you here today are connected and involved with so many community solutions because it's what energizes all of you. And that service part is really what energizes me as well. The Duke also challenged the audience to consider their own legacies and align their investments accordingly, using their platform to serve something greater than themselves through collaboration and partnership, while reminding them that whatever you put out there, you get back. Whatever you put out there, you get back. The Duke addressed emphasized and the need to learn, listen, and invest in pressing community issues, particularly mental health care, with a reminder to demand better from our systems, from our technology, and from ourselves, with a call for responsible tech that's safe by design. Responsible tech that's safe by design. And lastly, it says, following the conversation, the Duke met with the Nexus Australian delegation, which consists of social impact leaders and philanthropic organizations working to address mental health and social media safety. He met with a Brazilian delegation of 12 young people. Oh, I wonder if that is this group right here. Oh, maybe that's it. 12 young people who have come together to tackle inequality and build more inclusive future through education and volunteerism. The Archwell Foundation is dedicated to fostering community and combating social isolation, both online and offline. When communities are strengthened and our digital world is made safer, connections can thrive without fear of harm. All right, so that was what was shared today. There's more photos there. And right here, Canada reaped 86 million in economic activity from the Invictus Games. We spoke about that yesterday. Well, that was covered today in Feminegra, my favorite online magazine these days, Feminegra. If you don't recall, or if you didn't hear from yesterday, the Invictus Games in Canada, the adaptive winter sport games, actually raised 86 million in revenue across various parts of Canada. $86 million. So, how do you like that? As far as I know, it did not leave anybody in the red. I hope not. But yeah, so combined with all the activity around the Invictus Games, 86 million. 86 million. Very cool. Okay. Travelers. Have you guys heard of Travelers? Prince Harry is the founder of Travelers, in case you didn't know. The Duke of Sussex is the founder. Well, there you go. We are delighted to announce our new collaboration with Travelers. So, pitchup.com, they are collaborating with Travelers. Founded by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, Travelers is a coalition of some of the biggest names in travel and technology, working to make travel more sustainable. And again, for anyone who's listening, especially you derangers, you see there? It says Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. And then below that, it says founder, Travelers. Oh man, I tell you, Harry's done so much in his how many adult years? 22 adult years. He's done so much hard work. If it wasn't this charity or if it wasn't this agency, it was something. So cheers to Harry, founder of Travelers. I love rubbing that in. Now, I could not find this the other day. Remember, I was trying to figure out everything that Harry was doing in New York City that time. 1805, I think he did that before he left for New York. And then, of course, Concordia, which we spoke about that, yesterday or the day before. Yeah, so he's been with Concordia before. And then Halo Trust. all of this was while he was in New York. So he started off with the 805, the 1805, and then took off for New York City, Concordia, Halo Trust, Clinton Global Initiative, Travelers, UN headquarters, Well Child, and sent to Bali. What was that, like 2 days, 3 days? It was quite the performance. And of course, fortunately for William, he had enough sense to stay home when he found out that his brother was coming to town. He didn't want to have anything to do with it. They tried to cover for him, but you know how sloppy that was. So, again, Travelers' 5-year anniversary, protecting women and children in Lesotho, Clinton Global Initiative, a call to action for African parks, celebrating Angola's leadership in landmine clearance and conservation, a spotlight on youth mental health. So that was just part of it, but this is all of it. I could not find it, but I knew it was there. So when I saw it today, I'm just like, yes, that's what I was looking for. So congratulations, Harry. I'm just going to just put it out there and say the hardest working royal. I wonder if that's like a record for doing engagements, even though they're not official royal engagements anymore. I wonder if that's like a record doing those many engagements in such a short period of time. Very, very impressive. I meant to ring the bell too. So, this is interesting. So, let me run this by you guys. Says here, good point about the recording equipment. To what end? All they're doing is confirming Harry and Meghan are the popular and relevant royals. So I think what they're trying to say is, you know, that there should have been a bunch of complaining from the tabloid media and perhaps a word from the Buckingham Palace. They don't expect you to go in Buckingham Palace and make videos. They don't expect you to go in Buckingham Palace and take photos. That is a big no-no. That goes against those things listed as protocol. It's just not done. But yet these two, they were up there shaking their shimmy, and the palace thought it was cute and funny. That was not supposed to happen. And I didn't think about that until I read that. I'm just like, yes, they were not supposed to do that. Nobody is supposed to record anything. Don't you remember when the Beckhams got in trouble because their Beatrice or Eugenie allowed them to have a birthday party or something at Buckingham Palace? I forgot what it was, and the Beckhams stood in the courtyard or quadrangle, whatever they call that courtyard, in the middle of Buckingham Palace, and they took photos, and they took a couple of photos on the inside, and even worse, they posted that on social media. They're not supposed to do that. Nobody's supposed to do it. And yeah, that was pretty tacky on their behalf. So this was not supposed to happen. That's my point. But it did happen. And instead of them calling these people out because there was a story to be had out of it, because it seems as though they were mocking the Duchess of Sussex and Prince Harry, well, that made it okay. Now, to be fair, I don't know that they were making fun of the Sussexes. They were just having fun. And the fact that it blew up like that, maybe that was just by chance. Or Was that by design? Was that by design? You know, guys, I have been accused of giving people a lot of grace. Some people would say I give too much grace. I I just want to believe the best of most people in this world. And it's true. I do. I hate to be that person always looking over my shoulder, but sometimes you have to admit when things are just a bit questionable. Yeah, questionable. So, where is my handy list of protocol, which mentions, let me see, Palace list of protocol. Okay. And it clearly says the do's and the don'ts. So, what do we have here? I'm just going to go straight to the part where it says, uh-huh. Huh. Okay, so this one, well, it doesn't say it, but I know that they tell people that when they are at the Buckingham Palace that you're not supposed to take pictures. Because if you think about it, you never see them inside of the palace doing a bunch of selfies. Outside, yes. Inside, no. But it does say, maybe this is just basically for the garden party, but even with that, you just don't usually see people taking pictures. So, okay, never mind. That's not giving me the information that I'm looking for. So, SK says, in my opinion, they were asked by the PR team to do this. Yes, they were asked by the PR team to do this. In her opinion, she or he is alleging that they were asked by the PR team to do this, going to that no recording devices are allowed. You remember a protocol sheet that was doing the rounds that when you are about to meet them, you can't have anything in your hands, blah blah blah. These influencers were asked to do this. Oh, were these influencers? I don't know who these people are. Is a girl an influencer? So these influencers were asked to do this. They did this at the palace's approval. The royal family office page has never commented on anything not world disasters, anything not world disasters, not elected officials, not terror attacks. But after all these years, this is the only video they commented on, and the king's charity to chime in. This was a 100% planned trolling video approved and paid for by the palace. Out of the hundreds of people, they're not seeing any sharing a self-taken photo inside the palace other than the official ones. This was done at the palace's approval. So when I saw that, I'm just like, you know what? That does kind of make sense. That does make sense. There should have been complaining. There should have been a lengthy lecture about breaching protocol, if not a security breach. I mean, they don't want people to know the layout of the palace, but somehow this happened and it was not supposed to. And the palace, well, they thought it was just charming. As a matter of fact, there's Charles and the guy and the girl talking and laughing. It was all such fun. Oh, they're reality stars from a show called Made in Chelsea. Okay. Wow. You know what? They are working very hard. When I say they, I'm talking about the palace. They want young people to help them overcome the fact that they are boring, boring, and nobody's interested in the royal family because they're boring. And they want these influencers, they want the TikTokers and everybody else to come to these events so that they will promote them on their channels. That is what they're hoping for. This is probably like some exercise to appeal to youth. So I guess pretty soon they will have everybody taking photos inside of Buckingham Palace. Why not? Seems like it's okay now. Boring. Boring. Battle of the Wines. Charles slashes price of his English rosé ahead of Meghan's Fizz launch. Of course he did. I tell you, Meghan's rosé is going to be the best thing that has ever happened to Charles and his selection of Highgrove tonic water. That is going to be the best thing that could possibly happen because it's free publicity. This whole comparison and such, this is free publicity, and he should be glad for it. As ever, let's take a look at as ever. So these are some snaps that were sent in from people all across the USA that have their purchase of as ever. Someone made some, is that hibiscus tea? And then someone else sprinkled flour sprinkles all over their breakfast of sausage, egg, and looks like spinach with cheese maybe. And then if you take a look to the right of that, you have thank you, Meghan, and as ever, official for making the most incredible shortbread cookies, a new family favorite over here. Yes, I love the shortbread cookies. Those are so good. So good. And let's see, what is this? What is that? Romanticizing my homemade iced latte with flour sprinkles from as ever. Huh. And then right there's a as ever basket. Yeah, someone made a basket. And to the right of that, you'll see when you get your as ever delivery and the heat wave breaks, tea time outside. Thank you, as ever. I think that's a million yummies, maybe. Cool. A little surprise and delight for my 35th birthday. You know, I haven't opened my flour sprinkles yet. Well, when I see further proof that other people have opened theirs, then I will open mine. I mean, I know there's a couple of photos, but that's not enough. I want to savor them, save them for something special. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Save it for something special. I overnighted the Republic of Tea Hibiscus for a taste test. Nothing similar about it at all. It's night and day. I love Meghan's. I do not like the other. There are levels to this tea game. Well, if you don't know what they're talking about, this is what the deal is. So I saw an article that said, oh, we found out where Meghan's tea come from. Man, I was just like, you know what? I'm not sharing that. I don't share everything because some of the clickbait seems very innocent, but listen, our nerves are a bit frayed, right? We are a bit frayed at the nerve endings. And the last thing we need is another attack on Meghan. And it is an attack. For someone to go and investigate the origins of Meghan's tea means that they were looking for something to criticize. So apparently, they traced the tea to this one company. Now, what is it? Republic of Tea, Hibiscus, whatever it is. That company that comes in that tall, slender can, they have their brew, you know? Everybody has their own brew. And the taste of the tea can be affected by the climate, by the soil, um, you know, how mature were the tea leaves when they were picked, or if it's an herbal tea, still everything affects the taste. But a lot of different flavors of tea are actually blends. They blend this tea and that tea, or this herb and that root, whatever, to come up with a flavor profile. So not all tea is created equal. There are ways to enhance the flavor of your tea. So they don't know where, well, should I say, if that is where the tea comes from. A lot of products we buy at the grocery store, like I love Cheez-It crackers, right? Love Cheez-Its. And every so often, I'll go to a store and I see that they have a generic Cheez-It. I can almost guarantee you that the generic cheese crackers come from the same factory. But what's different is the recipe. The recipe. Not all things are created equal. Because this company makes a product for 3 or 4 other companies, it doesn't mean that it all tastes the same. Quite often, it is flavored to taste for that organization. Same with coffee. There are blends of coffee. Sometimes they blend different kind of beans to get a certain flavor profile. So it's a big aha gotcha moment, but they really don't have anything because they don't know what the process was to come up with that blend. I hope this is making sense. So it was much to do about nothing. So whether the tea from As Ever and this other company, whether or not they come from the same factory, they're produced by the same whatever, in order to sell certain products, if a celebrity has a perfume line, I can almost guarantee you that they had some input in the perfume or fragrance, whatever you want to call it. When it comes to makeup, when it comes to any of those things, there are people that usually take it very serious. They want to be a part of the development. And I'm sure that Meghan was very hands-on when it came to developing her line of tea. So it's a non-story, but they attempted to do a big, aha, gotcha. No, you don't. They're not even packaged the same way. Okay, let me take a look at a couple of your comments here before I continue. Ain't nobody talking to me tonight. That's okay. Sometimes I don't feel like talking to me either. Okay, I'll just continue then. So here's some more snaps of Meghan's products that have made it into kitchens and family rooms and wherever all over the country. You know, I cannot wait to use my jar as a planter. I didn't think about doing that, but maybe I will. Maybe I will. And here's some more snaps. Remember, if you tag your photos to as ever, if you're on Instagram and if you tag your photos to as ever, there's a great chance that Meghan will feature your particular as ever products and whatever comments you have. It may actually make it to, um, you know, to Meghan's website, to Meghan's as ever. You might have your um, food product, tea, whatever. You may actually have it mentioned on Meghan's reel, REEL reel. So think about it. Just make sure you tag it properly, and Meghan will probably see it. And there's some little girls opening up their as ever. And the picture on the right, I do believe I shared that with you yesterday. Very elegant the way everything is boxed. It really is. It is so elegant. Okay. Now, sometimes I think about the nuclear eye burning piece of royal gossip Boris Johnson's wife claimed to have heard a few years ago. What is she talking about? Well, do you all remember that video where someone said, well, there's quite a few stories going around about William? And the lady says, none that we can talk about. Hello, lawyers. Remember that little outburst? Well, you guys, people have been talking about it. There has been chatter, and there has been chatter for years. But I'm going to say that's probably as far as it's going to go in the near future. I believe most of the big time royalists, the big monarchists, they are on William's side. They are on the side of the institution. And William is not allowed to fail. William must look a certain part. He has to conduct himself in a certain way at all time. And it would be to a lot of people's detriment if he ever stepped outside of that box. They're just not going to allow it. They will not let him fail. Because, see, if something changed, if William's status changed all of a sudden, then that will make William out to be a big liar and a big phony, a big fake. It would mean that he has lived his life in one of the most, oh gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? Disingenuous? I'm trying to find a mild way to say it. But I would just say he hasn't been truthful. He hasn't been forthcoming. And so if his status changes about let's say who he's in love with, how he expects to live the rest of his life, he is not able to fade into obscurity. That ship has passed a long time ago. But I tell you, I thought about that uh, while reading Spare. I thought about it because I was thinking to myself, he told Harry that upstairs was off limits, right? And I cannot help but think that he did not want Harry to see the real William, whatever that means. That's what I think. He did not want his brother to experience the real William. So, what did he tell Harry? I don't know you. You don't know me. Got it. Ain't that a trip? I don't know you, and you don't know me. Jedi Lady says, but if true, William may get a whole new fan base and some support. Maybe. I think so. I think so. The only thing that would probably make this a terrible thing for him is that he may have been keeping a very big secret for a long time. And that it shows manipulative behavior patterns. It shows someone who is willing to engage in deceptive practices just to keep up appearances. And maybe he just doesn't want to be seen in that light. Maybe. But whatever it is or is not, it may be a terrible burden. It may explain the rage and hostility. It would explain the rage and hostility because he definitely looks like a man that is trapped in his circumstances. And on that note, I really didn't have any intentions on talking about certain things or certain people. But on that note, right now, there's a billionaire who is fighting some very serious charges. You know, a billionaire, someone who could afford the best of everything, has been accused of stepping out of his lane of yeah, yeah, that's what I'm choosing my words carefully. But yeah, there's someone in trouble right now because it seems as though they have been living a dual life, a dual existence. And I think that it would gain a whole bunch of new fans if we found out that things are different than what we expected. We would definitely look at Rose Hanbury in a different light. We would look at Kate in a different light. Everybody would see something different at that point. Now, I'm not wishing for it. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm very neutral on it because I really don't care. But I think it would explain the hostility. It would explain a lot of that hostility. Those fits of rage. Tangerine Squeeze, thank you for joining us. Oh, you believe that Kate knew, huh? And that is if there is something to know, if there is indeed something to know. This could just be a series of coincidence. CL, yes. Yes. That is what they say. That he spends the bulk of his time in France. And his family, kind of like Princess Diana, his family goes way back. And apparently, he needed heirs. He needed heirs to his fortune. By the way, you guys, I saw Rose earlier. There was an article about Rose Hanbury. And in the article, it mentioned her management of their estate. So she does work, and she works darn hard too. Hey, Hazel, what do you think? Let's see, back much further. Well, nobody's around here giving William a hard time for whatever it is he's in pursuit of, but it sure is nice to see him smile without doing that weird chanting stuff. Well, okay, let's see. Antoinette Kennedy. Let me see. I'm driving. I'm driving room listening. Oh, okay. Oh boy, I tell you, they about as happy as could be. And you know what? Isn't it good to see him happy? If that is his true and authentic self, whatever that true authentic self is, if that is what makes him happy, maybe he'll be a better person for it. If that's what makes him happy. Yeah, just maybe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Well, that's one way to put it. I got to remember that. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Yes, David Rock Savage family. I can't remember his family name. Wasn't it Lord Ruthermore? Furthermore? Furthermore? Ruthermore? I think it's love. No, not love, but Lord Furthermore. Ruthermore. Well, there was something that was eating away at him. We know that. And maybe they, during that long absence, they managed to strike some kind of a balance. Yeah, maybe there's a balance now. Now, this is kind of interesting. Prince Harry and Meghan at the heart of King's funeral plan. Are they ready for that? Are they really ready for that? This must be official. It was in the Telegraph, and it looked very official to me. It looked very, very official to me. I believe it to be authentic. Which, okay, so if this is true, then that means that there will be no removal of titles. We weren't expecting that anyway. And that if this is true, maybe the possibility of the Sussexes, along with children, to visit the UK suddenly seems more possible. Let me explain why. If this is true, then Charles does not want his funeral dominated by Harry and Meghan in the same way that his mother's funeral was dominated by Harry and Meghan. You get what I'm saying? And so the best way to avoid that is to welcome them. To welcome them to the UK. To make sure that they have adequate security wherever they're staying. Maybe there's something moving in the background, you guys. Maybe there's something moving in the background. I can't say for certain because I really don't know. But maybe there's some movement. But surely, they got to know that if Harry and Meghan is not there, that is going to be spoken about constantly. So, Words Do Matter says, hello, Baron. You have to listen to Harry's speech. He talks about Meghan being trolled and how they decided to take on the powerful media. Oh, are you talking about? Well, let's get back to this. Let me see if I have some more of it. I do have another video. Let me go back to it. I'll just put his picture up for effect. And I suppose you're speaking about this speech. So let me check and see what I got. Rock steady, baby. That's what I feel now. Let's call this song exactly what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is. It's a funky and low down feeling. Shake your hips from left to right. What it is I might be doing this funky dance all night. Rock steady. Rock. I'm killing some time. Hold on a second, you guys.
But I know both of us came to the conclusion that it didn't make sense. But I think both of us came to the conclusion that we could either create a foundation and just focus on the things that we feel really passionate about, or we could try to look at all of the symptoms of what the world is dealing with, and can we trace those back to a root cause, an ultimate problem that needs to be solved, that perhaps is on the face of it unsolvable because of the power behind it. That's how we ended up with the online world in the digital space. It wasn't something that was sexy. It wasn't something that we were necessarily passionate about, but it became very, very clear to us very quickly, speaking to a lot of experts, that for all the work that we collectively are doing and all the progress that we're achieving, the digital world is not done responsibly, that it's going to turn back that progress. And we see it now, especially with climate change. So that became a focus. And then we started to meet a lot of parents who'd lost their kids to social media, majority through suicide. And that's when it started to really make sense for us. And going back to your initial question, one of the pieces to why the digital world was so important to us is because my wife in 2018 was the most trolled person in the world. There was a lived experience in that, but at no point did we suddenly think, okay, well, let's go on, let's take this industry on. But now we've created a fantastic platform through the Parents Network for parents all over the US and Canada and the UK as well, to be able to share their stories and share their lived experiences in the hope that less parents are affected by social media.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your vision for.
We realized that quite some time ago. And I think in today's world, it's quite easy to be able to abandon your values because some people are proving that it's easier to get to the top by, lying. I'm sure that the fall from that is quite monumental. But my wife said to me very early on in our relationship, if you live your life by truth, it's the most efficient way to live. I'm sharing this with you. So yes, we will continue to live our life by truth, and we will continue to stand up for what we believe in, the difference between right and wrong. And almost like, especially when it comes to mental health, I find it fascinating that when you are in a position similar to mine, if you do speak up, that the people in those positions of power, in the media, whatever, criticize you, thinking that they're going to silence you, clearly don't realize that the importance of the fact that if they do try to criticize you and silence you, there is a need and a desire to continue to speak more. Everybody in this room, we know that if you come out and speak about some of your lived experiences, that someone out there, or a group of people, or thousands or millions of people, can somehow relate to part of your story, and you may be able to change their life.
Okay, so I don't know exactly how much speaking time he had, but I do have a couple more here. I could not get them to play earlier, and this may be a repeat. I hope not.
Both of us, well, no, both of us came to the conclusion that we could either create a foundation and just focus on the things that we feel really passionate about, or we could try to look at all of the symptoms of the world is dealing with, and can we trace those back to a root cause, an ultimate problem that needs to be solved, that perhaps is on the face of it unsolvable because of the power behind it. That's how we ended up with the online world in the digital space. It wasn't something that was sexy. It wasn't something that we were necessarily passionate about. But it became very, very clear to us very quickly, speaking to a lot of experts, that for all the work that we collectively are doing and all the progress that we're achieving, that if the digital world is not done responsibly, that it's going to turn back that progress. And we see it now, especially with climate change. So that became a focus. And then we started to meet a lot of parents who had lost their kids to social media, majority through suicide. And that's when he stopped.
Okay, so I know that one. Let me try this other one.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your vision for.
We realized that quite some time ago. And I think in today's world, it's quite easy to be able to abandon your values because some people are proving that it's easier to get to the top by, lying.
Okay, let me try this.
It's really remarkable, the work you're doing.
Focus on giving a platform to young people. It's their future. I think that the longer that we are on planet Earth, the more experience we have naturally. But also the longer we've been on planet Earth, the more we've been exposed to, not necessarily in a good way. So I think that young people come to these situations and come to these issues with such a clear mindset. So much of these.
It's really remarkable.
Okay, so I think that all of those are the same. Yep, that looks the same. Let me take a look and see if I can find something that I did not share before. I don't know where one might find the entire speech Um, I just have that I just shared with you. So I did we hear it? Well, I'll try one more thing, and I'll see if that works out. If not, I'm not sure because I don't know how long he was speaking. Oh my goodness. Okay, someone just shared a little video of Harry walking out on the stage. I'll share that with you. Um, and I did not see that earlier. Let me check this one out. This was posted 11 hours ago. So yeah, I think I already have that one. Man. I will just quickly check though and see what I can find. If I can find something else. Um, in the meantime, let me share that one with you, the one I just found. It's not a speech, it's just Harry, being Harry walking out to the stage. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Hi, iPhones.
Well, she just said hi, iPhones. So that means that there is a lot of stuff out there, but I just do not have access to it at this point. I guess it depends on how many people actually share what they have. Okay. Don't need that noise. But yeah, give me a second. I'll take a quick look and see if anybody has put some more stuff up. And if I can find something, I will share it with you. Oh boy. And she's usually very reliable. If she doesn't have it, it may not exist. Okay. What you got for me? Yeah, I don't see anything else that's available right now. But yeah, I do believe there's got to be a lot out there because she's like, "Hello, iPhones," so that means a lot of people were recording, and usually um, we get a bunch of stuff, but I didn't see much of anything earlier. Of course, there's one more thing. What if it's on YouTube? That's always a possibility. It could be on YouTube. Huh. Hashtag Prince Harry, New York City. Nope. All of these are old videos. Yeah, these people are being very selfish with their videos today. And there's just not much out there. Okay, I will check again later. But for now, I think that's just about it. So I'm going to go back to where I left off. Which was, oh, no, is that today or yesterday? Okay, yeah, that's today. Okay, we talked about the baby mama video. Talked about that. The wine, as ever. Photos. Okay, I went all the way back. We talked about secret lovers. That's who we are. Oh man, secret love. It's on YouTube. Well, you know what? I will find it. And what is the name of it? And I'll put the link. And then, of course, everybody can watch it on their own. Yeah, everybody could watch it on their own. I got to figure out what the name of it was again. It is the Nexus Global. Let me see if I can find it. Nexus Global, New York City. I mean, that's the simplest thing to do. It's just for everybody to watch it on their own. Okay. Oh. Oh, I see some of the other squaddies shared it. I see. Well, I tell you what, I will play the sound. I won't play the video, but I will play the sound if you all want to hang out for it. Or you can just go and watch it on your own. Oh no, that's not the whole thing. They are playing some of the same stuff I was playing. So okay, I don't see it otherwise. I do not see it. But you say it's there, so if you guys can find it on your own, um, you know, do watch it. But for myself, I do not see it. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go back to our regular scheduled programming. But thank you very much. Words do matter. Now, we were talking about Charles and his funeral plans, and whether or not the Sussexes and their children will play any role. That is going to be very interesting to sort out. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm only considering what Harry wants for his children, okay? And that is scary to some of us because we do not want that family to make trouble. I don't want that family to make trouble. I don't think any of us do. But it says here there has been increasing talk of olive branches and reconciliation between the king and Prince Harry. Much of it has been conveyed on the Duke's side, at least through television interviews, his emotion, anger, and frustration on full display. Now, remember, this is, I think, what the Telegraph, it is very, very biased, super biased. Or is this the Time? Telegraph. Either way, they're very biased. So long as we understand that. From Buckingham Palace, there has been little said on the record, beyond occasional frustrated shrugs. Royal aides have kept their counsel, determined not to fan the flames of this deeply personal rift in public. Behind the scenes, the king is very much hopeful that he will be reunited with Prince Harry and that he might still build a relationship with his two California-based grandchildren. Now, see right there, that sounds very sus. That sounds super suspect because Charles does not seem like the kind of person that is so keen to spend time with his California-based grandchildren. He doesn't spend much time with his UK-based grandchildren. And I don't care what they say on television. I don't care if he's able to silence them and console them and such when they're out on those public engagements. That's one thing. But Charles spending a lot of time with those kids, there's no way in the world that would happen without it being on camera. I just don't believe it. I don't believe Charles spends private time with children without there being some benefit in the long run. Because let's remember, he exploited Harry's proximity to him when they went to Africa so that Harry might be able to come out of this hole that he was in after his mother died. He took him to Africa. Well, that was a very good thing to do, but it also involved cameras. It also involved a spin doctor, right? There was a lot of spin that was going on. So before I would ever accept that Charles has done something just for the sake of it, everything that he does has some kind of motivation to it, especially with anyone that he's fallen out with before. So yeah, But it would elevate his profile to spend time with Harry's family. That would elevate his profile. And if he cares anything about his legacy, the thing is, there may have been, I don't know, someone has, perhaps when they take their polls, if they ask people opinions, maybe someone has just come out and said, you know what? You need to make up with your son. You need to make up with your son. It could be someone advising him. And I'm only saying that because when I listen to Professor Tim, whatever his name is it Tim Wilson? Tim Wilson speaks of grace, that the king does not display grace, that William does not display grace. I think people who believe that they should rise above petty squabbles, I think the people who believe that they ought to rise above that are not necessarily taking the Sussex family side of things, but they expect the person with the power, and that is Will and his father. They are the ones who have the power. They are king or will be king. So the whole world opens up to them. It really is up to them to apologize to Harry. They need to end this apathy, this quarrel, the estrangement, it is up to them to put an end to it. Harry cannot do it alone. He cannot do it by himself. And they want him to grovel, to crawl to them so that they can say, see, told you you can't live without the royal family. They need to go to Harry. They need to publicly acknowledge his pain and that of his family. And even better, they need to apologize because they are guilty of, as charged, as far as I'm concerned, they're guilty. The plotting, the scheming, the leaking, the briefing, these petty attacks upon Meghan, it would not happen if the palace did not allow it. It would not happen. Okay, let me continue this. There has been increasing talk of an olive branch and the reconciliation between King and Prince Harry. Much has been conveyed on Duke of Sussex side, at least through television interviews. Okay, that's a repeat. From Buckingham Palace, there has been little said. Okay, that repeats. Sorry about that. Opportunities would seem to present themselves at the next iteration of the Duke's Invictus game. So maybe they're trying to make something happen before the Invictus game, right? So there has been little said. Due to take place in Edinburgh Birmingham, not Edinburgh, Birmingham, in 2027. And the King's 80th birthday celebration the following year. Given this piece of royal events are planning years in advance, it is possible to cast a net further into the unknown. Indeed, the Telegraph can reveal that the King has factored not only the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and their two children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, into the heart of his funeral plans. Whew, if that don't sound morbid, I don't know what does. Good morning, Legs. Whenever the time comes, the monarch is adamant that his youngest son take his rightful place at the center of his family, perhaps mindful of that final chance to create family harmony. There is no suggestion that the King's reign will not continue for many more years. Planning for such a set piece ceremony events begin sometimes decades in advance, evolving over time through briefings and senior representatives from the royal household, the police, and the military, as well as the church. Now, Leg says, I think that this story is made up. First, King Charles hasn't talked to him. Charles took their home. Charles took security. Charles tried to take Archie and Lily's titles. He didn't want them to have them. He's an evil B word, the other B word. Okay. The Telegraph understands that the Sussexes remained enveloped in the King's funeral plan at the highest level, with the Duke expected to walk side by side with his brother. By then, the King at the forefront of the somber procession through the streets of central London. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be invited to take part in the family vigil during the Lion in State at Westminster Hall and play a prominent role alongside the most senior royals during the funeral service. Well, and I didn't really think about that because it just seems so far away. If there is any truth to this, it could only be in regards to, as I said before, trying to take the attention away from Harry and Meghan. Now, there's a possibility that Meghan wouldn't show up if you paid her. She may not show up. Meghan may never set foot in the United Kingdom again. We don't know. I think it would be a bad idea for the Sussexes to go, only because there will be so much attention thrown upon them. But Harry could not avoid going. Harry has to go. He just has to. That's his father, and he's going to be there. He will go. But whether or not Meghan would go, we don't know. We don't know what the king's health status is. So I'm sure there is some truth to this article, but certainly not all of it, and surely not most of it. A lot of it is just speculation. A lot of it is just based on the Queen's funeral. And I believe what they're trying to figure out is, you remember how all of the grandkids stood and took turns. Well, they took their turn watching over the Queen's coffin. So first it was Charles, his brothers, and his sister. They had their chance to do their duty. And then, of course, next was the Queen's grandchildren, right? So definitely Harry will participate, and there will be the big discussion about uniform or no uniform. Well, it was said last time that William actually didn't put the entire uniform on, meaning that he dressed down for the occasion so not to clash with his brother, right? Only for them to say, oh, Harry didn't have the royal cipher, which is something only a person in the military would have noticed. I don't think the average person would have known the difference. So that was a setup. Now, whether William participated in that, we don't know, but that was definitely a setup. Or as Harry would say, an old-fashioned stitch-up. I'm back on the ranch now. Oh, I have received my second order of As Ever products. My first order, which is the honey and jam, still waiting to be filled. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my my jam. And I'm still waiting for the other part of my order. I got another, but I think because the jam is going to come with the rest of the order. So I think that's what's happening. Let me see here. Leg says, I don't think that Charles III has cancer. They gave the lie that Charles III has cancer, but will not die if is so. They can pull out the cancer card if what is that? If I'm sorry, if popularity slips, but not need to fill people in about any test. Yeah. They won't even tell us what kind of cancer it is. They won't even tell us what kind. Let me see. My husband's father's funeral, I'm going, even if I just stay back in the hotel, I'd go and support. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who knows how long this is away this is, right? But um I'm just going to assume, and this is just my opinion, I'm going to assume that there is some truth to this, but there's also a lot of speculation. I think it's going to be very messy because there will be this huge fever pitch, will they or won't they? Starting with, are they coming to the funeral? Are they going to be with the rest of the family? Where are they going to sit? Will Harry wear his uniform? Will Meghan curtsy to Kate? Let me say that again. Will Meghan curtsy to Kate? You know what? Stay home. Stay home. Just stay home. We do not want that on film. We do not want that on film. Okay, let me see here. What's that? As ever, lemon ginger tea is everything. Okay. Lex said, "Did y'all see the woman treated? I'm sorry. Did y'all see how those women treated Meghan? They wanted to hate her in proximity. Remember that Harry and Meghan were supposed to go to the reception with world leaders, and they pulled that right from them." Yeah, they were. I forgot about that, Legs. I totally forgot about that. Yep, I totally forgot about that. Yep, I missed that one. But you're right. That was supposed to they were supposed to meet with those leaders, and that didn't happen. Yep, so right. Oh well. Yeah, you know what? Once I thought about the curtsy, I was done. I was done. When I thought about the curtsy, that was the end of it for me. That was the end of it for me. Let me see. Leg says, I agree. I'm sorry, no. Antoinette Kennedy says, Legs, I agree that King Charles and Kate don't have cancer. It's a shame that they have to lie for attention, which is a shame that they have not supported any cancer patients. Lies tell. I'm sorry. Lies. Bleh, lies they tell. Okay, so Charles has been more supportive than Kate. However, it does seem rather strange that either the king or Kate ever seem to be concerned about the level of germs that they would encounter wading into the public. Charles more so than Kate. I was always concerned about the fact that Charles, who you would imagine his immunity would be suppressed from cancer treatment, although remember they said he was not doing the conventional treatment, they said he was doing some alternative treatment. It was Kate who is supposed to have had chemo, which of course is very toxic to the body. But I tell you guys, there are so many people that have had miracles in the past 10 years from cancer treatment. Miracles. I mean, people that have. I was just looking at Pam Grier. Pam Grier did an interview with, I think it was CBS Morning Sunshine Show, whatever, and she spoke about her journey. And I think they had gave her 18 months, and that had to be maybe 5, 10 years ago. Okay? That is a blessing. That is a huge blessing. And what it says is it ain't over till it's over. Amen. So whatever's going on with Charles, he could very well live another 10, 15 years. He could definitely live another 10 or 15 years or longer. Who knows? We don't have a say in that. But let's just say as well that this may just be a bunch of speculation and that there is no truth to it, that whatever happens, the Sussexes would in all likelihood take a back seat. They would not want them to be the center of attention, not Harry standing guard over his father, Harry in the uniform. We all know what a disaster that was last time because Harry, oh my goodness, was he wearing that uniform or what? Harry just put all of those flabby Windsors to shame. He put them to shame. I compare Harry in that uniform to Yul Brynner in Westworld. It's all about the walk. And if you've seen Westworld, if you know, you know. But that was the impression that a lot of people walked away with was Yul Brynner and that walk in Westworld. Or how about that runner in that what about the kid that was running this week? He was doing the hurdles. Did you guys see that? The guy running the hurdles? Surely you saw that. As a matter of fact, if you've seen it, you can't stop seeing it. You probably see it every time you close your eyes. There it is. Yep. You see someone light a cigar. There it is. You drive past a hot dog stand. There it is. You can't help but see it. And some people said that he had an unfair advantage. Did you hear that? That he should be disqualified. Let me see. I agree. Unless there is a huge change in the relationship, even Harry should remain home. Yeah. And, maybe this is just so that they could try to lift their sagging poles. I believe that the royal family is polling at an all time low. And they're trying to fix it. And maybe they want this to go viral. Maybe they want this conversation to go viral, this article, so that it would make Charles seem like a very fair, verdant, and trusted sovereign. Let me see. Willie Leaks is not going to inform Harry or Meghan about his father's funeral service. That's how evil Willie is. Yeah, William, who left Harry in Windsor and didn't allow him to fly in the plane with them to Balmoral. But you guys know what? Karma is a you know what? Because when that plane landed, when that plane landed, and the man and the woman that was speaking on television, well, it appears to have been a plane that has landed, and we do believe that that plane has the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Well, Meghan was still at Frogmore, and as for as for Harry, he was on a different plane. They were so disappointed when that plane opened up and out stepped Willie and old bad built bleach bodied Sophie and um what's her name? Wilhelmina. I'm sorry, Edwina and Edwina. The plane opened up, and just like an egg that hatched a little scrawny chick, right? A little scrawny duckling or whatever. Those three misfits stepped out of it, and everybody was so disappointed because they were just hoping and hoping and hoping. Why do I love that story so much? But they were just hoping that Harry and Meghan stepped out of that plane. That was all that mattered. It didn't matter that the Queen was dead. It didn't matter that Charles was king. The only thing they could think of was, God, I hope that's Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, emerging from that aircraft that just landed. And what comes out? Yuck. William. They didn't even care about Kate. Kate is supposed to be the secret weapon, the savior of the family, the only thing that is carrying this 1,000-year-old institution, the nonverbal princess, right? They didn't even care whether or not she was there. All they wanted was Harry and Meghan. It was the Queen spent 70 years on the throne and was upstaged at her funeral by her grandson and her granddaughter-in-law. Upstaged. New king. Who cares? Is Harry and Meghan here? That's all people cared about. Oh, that was all they cared about. And then, of course, I know it was the Queen died. I shouldn't be sitting here smiling and reminiscing, but Harry in his uniform, Meghan in that cape dress. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. That was that gave me my life. Harry in his uniform and Meghan in the cape dress. The best dressed, the best dressed, period, hands down. In uniform or out of uniform, Harry was the best dressed man the whole time. And of course, when it comes to the ladies, you got to give it to the Duchess of Sussex. She stole the show. Anyway, now what was we talking about? Let me see here. Baron, knowing Harry will tell Meghan to only curtsy to his father, I pray she doesn't go to Chuck going to the tomb party. Oh my goodness. You see, I think that divine intervention got them out of there before we ever had to see anything like that. Um, the problem is Hazel Jones will, let me see, they thought Kate out at the time. I feel that even if she is out of the fold, she will still hate Meghan because she has a love that Kate will never have. Oh, why did I do that? Um, yeah, and of course she has that huge crush on Harry. Mhm. Well, Lydia says, how many ways does Charles have to say he does not care about Prince Harry refusing calls, leaving when he shows up in town? At present time, there is no relationship. Yeah. Well, let me see. Let me take a quick skim through here. Personal beliefs. While the vast majority of the state funeral code name, as for all monarchs, Operation London Bridge, will look and feel much like Elizabeth II, the king has made the same changes to his plans, which are reflective of his own personal beliefs. Okay, it says right here Buckingham Palace aides insist that the king's funeral plans had not been finalized and caution against speculation. So that's official. Do not speculate. Uh, okay, bringing his family together by putting aside differences and signaling, that is signing off on plans that place the Sussexes at the heart of his funeral. The king will ensure that his final public act brings his family together. But he's not interested in bringing his family together. To be frank, he's not interested in that. If he was interested in bringing his family together, he would do that present tense, right? Not after the fact. Yeah, they're doing a lot of revision. Um, let me see. Huh. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it. There's not really a whole lot of information in this article. It just really is a bunch of speculation based on Queen Elizabeth's funeral. And the real question is, will or will they not be there? And will or will they not participate? And we're not going to get any answers in an article like this. So I don't know. I think that as things stand right now, it would probably be up to William, ultimately up to him, just like Queen Elizabeth II was supposed to return to London by train. And even though that was her wishes, if she died in Scotland, she'd come back to London by train. They changed it. They changed it uh, right on the fly. They were just like, nope, she's going to fly back. So they do not follow everything that is in the will. They can pick and choose what they will and will not do. So, and the government can't get involved because that's a private family matter, even though it is a state funeral. Let me see. Oh, okay. So Hazel Jones says funerals are planned in conjunction with Downing Street. If the Sussex family is included, it's because Downing Street insisted no repeat of the 2022 clown show. I hope not. I hope not. The fact that that played out in front of the entire world, that is something that I think everyone should be embarrassed about, the way that they carried on in front of the world without any regards to human decency. That was absolutely awful, repugnant, inexcusable, pathetic. Oh, you really starting something tonight, huh? Would we expect Meghan to go to Thomas Markle's funeral? Charles had treated them just as bad as Thomas Markle has. Worse, he basically put a on him by removing his security. Gosh, Lydia, I didn't know you talk like that. You sound like one of the good fellas. Oh man. Let me see. Sandringham was by train like her father. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, let's just hope that Charles has quite a few years ahead of him. And I think what Lydia said makes sense. Let's see where we are when it happens. If there's some making up and all that kind of stuff beforehand, we should just wait until then before any conclusions are drawn, instead of, flying off the handle and taking something like this at face value. You really can't. You really cannot do that. So, look at Oprah. Oprah's looking mighty slim. Look at Oprah, 70 years old and showing her exposed midriff. Huh? 70 years old and showing that exposed midriff. How about that, Miss Winfrey? I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Yeah, she looks good. She looks very good. Now, I have a little sound bite to play for you. I just love this. I love, love, love this. I thought it was absolutely adorable. And guess what? I didn't save it. I didn't even save it. I thought I had it. Oh, wait. I know where I have it. Okay, let me try that again. Okay. Obviously, that was not it.
To me, when they come to this lady for the life of me, I would never understand. But y'all gonna act like y'all didn't see that? Huh? Why y'all don't listen to me when they come to this lady for the life of me? I would never understand. But y'all gonna act like y'all didn't see that? Huh? They gonna act like y'all didn't see that? So he's gonna act like this is normal behavior, right? We're gonna act like this is normal behavior at a fashion show. And for y'all who living under a rock who didn't see what happened, check it out. Yeah, man, y'all see what's going on. Straight off the runway, handed it right to her. Got up Jay. And then you see what happened right after. He goes straight over to his wife. Now, he could have gave that back to anybody. He could have gave it to his wife, but he didn't. And you know exactly why. Let me guess, you think that was just like a nice little gesture by Pharrell? You think Pharrell was just being nice, just handing her that bag? No, it wasn't a nice little gesture. It was an obligation. Even Louis Vuitton knows this lady's level of influence. They knew she was having a show around this particular time. Now, I don't know all the optics around the fashion show, but I can almost promise you, they put this fashion show together around the time they knew that she was going to be there. You think they didn't leverage his relationship with Jay-Z and Beyonce in order to even get her at this event? You know, that's Beyonce homeboy. She gonna show up and show up for Pharrell any chance she get. So you know what Louis Vuitton decided to do? Let's create a marketing campaign around Beyonce being at the event. Pharrell, when she comes out, you're gonna hand her this bag, insinuating that Beyonce thinks very highly of Louis Vuitton. I'm sure whenever this bag officially drops, it is going to sell out immediately. Not only that, now the stock has risen when it comes to Louis Vuitton. And if you think I'm lying, go look. Even Louis Vuitton knows the level of influence that this woman carries. Y'all gonna stop acting like Beyonce ain't one of the greatest to ever do it. I keep having to tell y'all time and time and time again. Now listen, she has just wrapped up being overseas doing her shows. Now, in about another 3 days or so, she'll be doing night one in Houston. She just wrapped up her overseas run. Now, it's going to take maybe about a day or two before the official numbers come out for what she did overseas. As soon as they come in, I'm going to bring them to y'all. Y'all already know I got to make a video about that because I know the numbers is crazy. But look, man, as soon as the numbers come in, I got y'all. But that's all I got for this video. I keep trying to tell y'all, man, it ain't too late to hop on the train. But until next time, I'm out.
Okay. Let me see. Who was that? His name is Our Hermitage. Our Hermitage. Yeah, Hermitage, like the museum, Hermitage. Okay, that is who that was. And he was speaking about Beyonce's ever-growing influence in the fashion world, music world, etc., etc. And yeah, apparently when Pharrell emerged from the fashion show backstage or whatever, he comes right out and runs over to Beyonce and gives her a bag. He hugged everyone in line. He gave her the bag, gave her a hug. He gave Jay-Z a hug, and then he ran over to the other side. And I don't know if that's his wife that he's hugging in the photo on the right side, but then he gave her a hug and a few people in the line on that side. And success, job well done. Beyonce is appearing holding the bag, and then later on, she went and took a photo, a little solo photo, holding the bag. So, and it looks like the Eiffel Tower is in the background. So, yeah, that is influence right there. That is some major, major influence. Now, the bag itself doesn't look like anything special, but the fact that Beyonce has it, then of course it is likely to sell out. So anyway, good for her, right? Right. Look who else is trying to vie for the 2029 Invictus Games. Italy wants a piece of the action. Yes, Italy, it says, let's see, Veneto region of Italy is aiming to be the next host of the Invictus Games. Their proposal is for another winter hybrid edition of the games and for it to take place across the sites of Verona, Padova. I don't think I ever heard of that. Cortina, something or other. I ain't heard of that either. And Venezia. That is Venice. Venice. Sign me up. Sign me up. Venice, I'm in it. Wow. Okay. So you guys, you know I was torn between Korea and Nigeria. I was torn between those two. I was just like, oh, I can't decide. Well, I have made up my mind. I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Italy. Yes, all that good pasta and marinara sauce and all that kind of stuff. I want to go to Italy. And I tell you, if Spain puts in a bid, I'm done. It's Spain or nothing. So I'm just saying, whatever I feel for those other places is a moot point. I'd rather be in Spain because they have those delicious ham sandwiches, you know, where they slice that ham really thin. Oh, I could eat those things till I pass out. They're so good. They're so good. I would totally sell out all those other cities just so that I could go to Spain and get another one of those ham sandwiches. Yeah, who cares? At that point, I would only be thinking about myself. I would only be thinking about myself. But it's so good. It is so good. I ate those every day, 2 or 3 times a day. Every time I passed the shop, I'm like, yeah, could I have one of those sandwiches? Thank you. A bonus noches. So good. Carmen Capella, thank you so much for being here. And of course, we spoke about this already. Why did I put that there again? I don't know. Oh, look who has been polishing royal shoes. Yeah, look who has been opening doors for the royal family, writing checks, and who knows what else he's had to do. David Beckham has had surgery on a 22-year-old injury. He broke his wrist 22 years ago. And for some reason, he's had to go and get it repaired again. How did you do that, David? Whipping out a credit card? Huh? You did that by pulling out that American Express Centurion card? He's probably got that black card, right? It's made of titanium. It probably weighs a ton. And whipping that credit card out has caused a very common injury amongst the overpaid. Yeah, that's what it is. He actually injured himself by whipping out a credit card. That's what they call rich folks' problems. That's a 1%er's problems. No, I don't know. I just know he broke his wrist 22 years ago. Either that or he had to go and get his dignity repaired. He probably had to go and get his dignity put back in place, as since he lost so much of his dignity campaigning for that what do you call that you know, what is he now, a lord No, not Lord, Sir David Beckham. Now he's whatever they call him. That's what he is now. It was a long campaign, and I'm just being nice by associating that with a credit card. Like I said, he really had to display certain talents to the royal family. To whom much is expected, much must be done and given, or whatever. Kate Middleton quietly holds meeting with A-lister after pulling out of Royal Ascot. Oh, really? Now, I don't know if they mentioned who the A-lister is or not, but the last time Kate Middleton tried to have a meeting with an A-lister, we all know what happened. She was embarrassed. She was embarrassed. That A-lister, nobody even asked Dolly Parton, but Dolly Parton decided to just sing like Aretha Franklin. She told everybody who would listen that Kate tried to get me over to her house, and I told her, no, indeed. I'm here to work. I came to work. Maybe some other time when I don't have to work. I'm like, is she trolling Kate? Yeah. She let it slip that Kate was trying to get her over to the house for tea, and Dolly said, no way. No way. She was not having it. And I'm so glad. That's how you have to do these people. But who did Kate speak to? Well, take a look here. I thought it was very sweet and nice of her to invite me. And one of these days, I'm going to get to do that. But not today. Dolly Parton turned down invitation to tea with Kate Middleton. I love it. And it was all over the papers. How humiliating for Kate. She has about as much draw as, I don't know, the trials of Nuremberg. Yeah, she has about as much draw as the Salem witch hunt. She has about as much draw as, as Kate Middleton reading Shakespeare. Yeah, she has about as much draw as Kate Middleton reciting Hamlet. Yep. Not much interest at all. Okay, let me see what else. Dolly Parton's sister Stella hits out over a Camilla photo. How would Meghan be treated? Huh. Well, I think that's what it is. You know that Stella Parton, Dolly's sister, she does not like the tabloid media. She did an interview years ago, and they totally misrepresented, misquoted her, and she has been on a vendetta with the tabloid media ever since. So, yeah, she don't like them. She don't trust them. And she usually defers to Meghan like all the time. So, gotta love that about her. Oh, yeah, I did see Melinda Gates, a picture of Melinda Gates, and oh gosh, the content creator with that big gummy grin, she was like celebrating the fact that Melinda Gates and, those people were photographed together. Will and Kate. But, I don't even know if the Sussexes have ever crossed paths with Melinda Gates, that it should matter. When people go to the UK, they have the obligatory trip to Buckingham Palace. Whether you're inside or outside, you got to go near the palace. And hopefully you get a chance to go in and have the tour and everything. But whatever the case may be, it doesn't even matter. It just simply does not matter. If you're over there in the UK, yes, eventually the royal family is going to send for you. If you're here in the US or Canada or someplace else, then there's other people to meet. Mayors, governors, presidents, or prime minister, whatever. There's other things to do. And guess what? I have nothing else to do. I am done. I am done today. So I'll read some more of your comments, and let's just thank goodness we did not stretch this out to 3 hours today. Let me see here. Anything? Okay. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. Well, I didn't read the article. I mean, I could go and check if you like. I can get past the paywall. Oh, by the way, what did you guys think of the Sanchez wedding dress? What's her name? Sanchez. She just married Jeff Bezos. Looks like she has a very traditional dress. It's lace at the top. The sleeves are laced. She doesn't have her boobs, hanging on the other side of the Rialto Bridge. Yeah, she doesn't have her boobs resting on the Rialto Bridge, so I think that's a good sign. Right? She hasn't blocked the Great Canal, the Grand Canal. She hasn't dropped her boobs in the Grand Canal and flooded the other side of town yet. So I think that's good. As a matter of fact, when I looked at the picture, I'm just like, okay, how many hours does she have left? Certainly not 18. I'd say she probably was down to about 10 hours at that point. Her hours go by faster. Well, yeah, she was there on business. She didn't have time for tea. She made sure that she stressed the fact that she was there working. She said, well, I was working. I don't know what Kate doing, but I was working. I had came to work. And when I have to work, I work. I don't have time for tea. I had to work. Maybe some other time when I'm not working, but because I got to work, I had to work. Kate doesn't work. Well, she didn't say that, but Kate doesn't work. That's what she meant. If she was a working person, Yeah, well, she wore a bra to the what do you call it? To the inauguration. She wore a bra with a jacket over it, of course. Okay. She didn't have time to sit through all that mumbling. Well, and maybe I've she didn't have time to sit through all that mumbling. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone. I'm just gonna hang out here a little bit. Let me see. What was I looking for? Oh, um, I said that I was going. Oh, I'm going to see who that A-lister was, right? I bet you it was Graham Norton. uh, yeah, whatever Kate's idea of an A-lister is in comparison to real people, that would be interesting to find out. Okay, Kate Middleton, A-lister. Oh, okay, here it is right here. Now, do I have to get past the paywall? Yes, I have to get past the paywall. Let me see if I can do that. Look like it won't let me in. Try that one more time. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So, uh-huh. Oh, it was Melinda Gates. There was Melinda Gates. On Wednesday this week, Princess privately received Melinda Gates for, let me see, the former wife of Microsoft founder Bill at Windsor Castle, marking her return to official duties. Marking her return to official duty, she met, oh my goodness, she met Melinda Gates for the first time, and she refers to that as a call to duty. Well, I thought they meant she was actually doing something. Well, that's it, you guys. She met with Melinda Gates. Why couldn't they just say that? Why hide that behind the paywall? It's not like Melinda Gates gave her any money or anything. What is the point of it? So she met with Melinda Gates. Lord, I'm disappointed. Why not Sly and the Family Stone or something? Or how about, what's left of the Bee Gees? But Melinda Gates? Okay. All right. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And again, do go over to Lady Sussex. There is a link at the top of the chat. Please go and leave a kind word, a prayer, a thought, anything for Lady Sussex, who has her live stream on Sundays. So, in all likelihood, she won't be there this week. But the important thing is that she knows that we are with her, that she knows that we are with her. In spirit, we are there by her side, a part of this. That's how I like to think of it anyway. And for anyone else who is at work or perhaps not feeling so well, maybe just suffered a loss in your family, thank you for seeing Royal Sussex as a safe space. That means a lot, a lot, a lot to me. Thank you. And thank you for trusting me to do this work. That also means the world to me. Okay? Oh, you know what? I heard that they were trying to protest the wedding and that Jeff Bezos had hired all of this security and, to try to front them off before they got close to him. And then they got rained out, and they said that there were 70 private aircraft. Well, I don't hate on rich people because Lord knows that they were just regular people like you and I before they became millionaires and billionaires, right? And if I could fly someplace private just a handful of times per year, I would do it. I would do it. Oh, thank you, Cookies and Cream. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what the paper says. That's what the paper says. Let me see who wrote this article. Oh, Lord, Rebecca English wrote it. There you go, Rebecca English. Okay. Yep, that was a Rebecca English, Becky the Blob, running block as usual. All right. Love you guys. Good night. See you next time.